Tiamat, and you will learn a brief history of the Dragon Queen, including her allegiances to Hell, her fall from a greater god to a lesser god, and then her next ascension back to a greater god.
What is her status right now in this point in history? God. Okay. And is she here on this plane?
Well, 3 of the 4 heads are 5 heads are single. The other 2 are
dating each other.
Yeah, they are.
Wow, that's messed up. Okay.
I love me. Me too. Oh yeah. All right.
Well, now it's canon.
Okay. So do I know if she's on this plane or if she's still banished?
No, as a greater god, she resides in the other planes.
Okay.
She's just not in the hells anymore.
Okay. Going to turn and see if there's any thicker books about this on the shelf.
As the day starts coming to a close, as you spent a great deal of time poring over the tomes.
I'm a knowledge cleric, baby. I can pull all-nighters. It's a library.
I know you can, but Jesse cannot.
That's true.
And so, as the halls grow dark and the candles are all lit,
closing time plays,
and you're realizing that the archives are open. It's just a matter of
being
less people here, and then you realize that Jesse's probably lit a fire somewhere or something. You eventually come to, I would have to spend likely days here, as they've set you down the correct path. It's up to you, though, up to every acolyte here to find and retain the knowledge. Okay. So that is how this place works.
All right.
Did I, over the course of this research, was I able to find Jesse?
You did find it. I mean, yeah, why would you not?
What is Jesse doing?
Jesse is...
She's outside.
There is a bit of a small community outside. There's places, including stores and inns. It's a very skeletal looking. It's just like, the kind of place you would see outside of the castle wall or something. It's there because there is a support structure needed, but it's not great.
Well, if there is a bar of some sort, I would be drinking.
Yeah.
Oh.
This reminds you of the Witch's Brew in quality. It's not the greatest bar.
It's fantastic. If someone wants to start a fight or something, I'll fight, or I'll just sit there and drink.
You get a lot of people with pamphlets. There's a lot. You know who could save you? Bacab. Bacab is the way to go.
Beat it, buddy. I don't want none of your paper.
That's true, says another one. What you're gonna need is this vellum scroll with the information from Istis.
I can't read.
I'm just gonna come up between them and just plant myself in front of Jesse and pull my staff off my back, and Aurelia is 5'0", and just sort of be like, "You heard the lady."
Yeah, the bartender's like, "Get out of here! That's right. We don't need your kind anyway." But if you did want to learn how to read, it's ROLL.
Okay.
But anyway, yeah, all of this is
my god.
all of this is the way to go. So the hours are going to pass. Casey, you found what you wanted. Tia, you found a bit of what you wanted.
It was my bad roll. I forgot my
Avarice,
glasses.
I assume you're asleep somewhere.
Cadaverous, it has things to do also.
What
but after Casey's. What do you say?
As far as I know, Casey's resolved. Yes?
Right. Okay. Cadaverous would like to use his connections, I assume he has some from his time as a diplomat, to find general high magic people to start inquiring about opening/closing portals to hell. Mostly opening. A little bit of closing.
So you would like to say all that again. I'm a little confused. How are you going to find these people?
So Cadaverous was a diplomat, right?
Correct.
So as a diplomat, you probably at times, when in various cities, end up talking to higher magical people because they end up being advisors. So he would like to find one of these higher up magical people, a wizard, a other thing that isn't a wizard, and find out information on opening or closing, ideally opening, portals to other planes or hell.
Okay, so I would like you to roll a history check as you try to recall all of the different delegates that you've spoken to, which one may have had some sort of magical bent to them, and how many of those you remember their names, and also who's in good proximity. So a 14. Not a bad roll. The first name that comes to mind, of course, is the court wizard in Barn. He is the top. He's, of course, the advisor to the king himself, lives on the royal grounds. That's a bit of an academy there. There is nobody else in the main area that comes to mind. You know that Naren's Port had one, but with a 14, the name just escaped you. Like, its name...
Daniel, Damien, Donnie.
Daniel, Damien, Donnie. I knew it.
Daniel,
No, wait.
Damien.
Damien, Donnie.
It's like Theodore. You're like, Daniel, it's... But it's just off the tip of your tongue. It's just slightly further away than the capital is right now from you. You could go there pretty quickly if you so chose. And those are the only two in this area that you can think of. One that is a bit famous and sort of out of reach, or at least socially awkwardly, whatever that is. You know how you have some parties that just, some party members aren't very comfortable in the social settings you come from. But that being said, there are others, it's just more distant. There's some noble families that often employ these same higher level magic people.
Well, I would like to, if possible, go to whichever is the most within reach. And if they're not, like, if it requires, like, travel, then I'll wait.
There's going to be none here at the Basilica of an arcane bent. Certainly there's some notable people here in the Basilica of the divine nature, if that would fulfill your...
I have a feeling that divine nature will probably be more revolving around the closing portals, and they probably aren't big on talking about opening portals. But if there's anybody...
Look, Kendra, I'm sorry.
Look, there's no deals yet.
Yeah.
It's just because I haven't presented you one, that's all.
Well,
That's what you
thanks,
mean.
just
Deal!
presenting it to me. Okay, that's fine. I'll wait.
Okay, so the day turns to night, and the party is able to regroup outside the Basilica.
I just kept Jesse company the whole time.
Jesse and Aurelia, you're able to drink what you would like to consider very average beer and or ale. Nothing special. Not bad. Not the worst you've ever had. Considering Katia. Or I'm sorry, Katia. Considering Jesse. Well, you know what it says right there, though? Jesse does know that sometimes merchants come in with some really bad stuff. And that stuff always never leaves where you're from. So it doesn't go to the rest of the country. It's like, oh, well, place to sell it? Yeah, get rid of it now.
But I'll drink it anyway.
Well, yeah, and this stuff's okay. Okay. So everyone does reconvene. And as you reconvene and you look up and you realize you'll need to take another break, whether you use one of these very, very plain but not bad inns nearby, or if you decide to camp out the way you had been as you've been on the road for quite a while and becoming accustomed to it. Either way, it's a good time for us as players and DM to take a good break because of the time. So, as it's the good time because of the time, then it's time. So
Time goes on timing.
yeah, let's call it 5.
See you all in quote unquote 5 minutes.
Wait.
Back from break.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. 2, 1. Activate stream.
And now for the exciting conclusion.
Ate the stream beam.
Lions and crows.
Ah!
Party.
Stop faking me out like that.
The party's not actually met any lions nor crows, but who's
we've
to
met
say what the
one.
future can
Are
hold?
there any in the capital? We should find them.
Kill
Just so
the
we can put
lions,
them
kill
in
the
this.
crows.
Just so we can put them in the same place and be like, hey, look, lions and crows.
Or we just say crows and lions. And everyone's angry.
Ruins it. Lions and ravens. No, you've got it all wrong. So, welcome back. Let's recap this first half. You guys did stuff. A lot of talking. So, you did breathe some poison too twice.
I did that. Don't blame it on anyone else.
Are we sure we didn't want to bring that body with us so we could just poke it every 6 seconds?
I get hooked on it eventually. Can't live without it.
You got there. Well, we're gonna need a catapult because we have quite the ammo. So,
And from now on, we solve all of our problems by just catapulting the crystallized corpse of a toxic substance at our enemies,
and then lighting it on fire midair.
and then lighting it on fire midair, so we can, as effectively as possible, spread the substance that brings hell closer to Earth.
It's not what that did. However, it is a precursor,
Cool. It's pre-Hell on Earth.
or prel, as you like call it.
I would
Oh,
call it. I would
shampoo.
call it Florida.
On that note, can cadavers have a thing?
Florida's awesome. I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know, can he?
Can cadavers have a thing? So he was in hell briefly.
No.
He wasn't in hell briefly.
No, I mean you were, but I don't like this. Go on.
Okay, so was there any kind of similarities between the red pour and the gaseous nature to the hell plane itself?
Beyond the fact that it sucked, no.
Okay.
Oh.
So we go to the capital.
You are
we go
at
to
the
the
capital after spending just a few more hours on the road and marching it on. You have made it to the capital city. Welcome to the capital city. Hello. It says the person at the gate. Come in.
Thank you, gate person.
In my mind, it's playing like one of those like maybe 90s, early 2000 like Will Smith like summer rap songs. You know, we're just like rolling in, going down. There's just like all these palm trees. I don't know. That's just what I picture.
Okay, it's exactly it's Bel Air. Is
Yeah.
what you're saying.
We're imagining very different things.
Summer, summertime.
Is it summer?
I don't know.
No.
Gislin would like to not go to the library and maybe go somewhere away, private.
Well, the city is full of people, so private. It's in small.
I will break
There's
off before
There's
this
very
meeting, too.
little public private. There's some certainly private, but you have to go into other people's homes, and that's an issue itself.
Not anymore, thanks to our level up. But, yeah,
Who's there? Just get out of here. I'm trying to have some private time. This is my house.
I will sort of go off and spend some time in the wilderness.
Oh, okay. We'll deal with your quotes in a sec. For the rest of you, foolish, non-gizling, having goslings, what are you guys doing?
Is this
That was
another time
unnecessary,
where you,
and I apologize to everyone who heard that.
are you going into one of those buildings with all those books?
Well, I was thinking I might go to the Adventurers Guild.
What's that? It has adventure in it. I
It
like
does.
that.
I'm not, just full disclosure, it is run by the nobility. So it may be full of a bunch of stuffy people. But it's for people like us, sponsored adventuring parties.
Next.
Okay.
What you doing, cadavers?
I'm gonna go bother a wizard.
By bother, do you mean I get
Ask
to
a
use my
question.
axe?
No.
There's gotta be
Not-
some training grounds around here or something.
The difference between Amaron and Girth is that Amaron is almost 100% cobblestoned. The stone buildings and the wooden buildings are all very much permanent fixtures. There's an old feel to it. It's on the bay. It overlooks quite the. It has got quite the sight as the city is built higher up, as the bay has this very large incline as soon as the water starts to the city of Amaran. The docks are almost as if it were a separate city, a little lower than the rest of the other quarters. But all that being said, it doesn't stop the smell of the sea, and etc.
Did you say pee?
I did not, but thank you for thinking that was what I was meaning. No, the smell of the sea. 'Tis the sea
that's
they
much
love.
nicer.
Yes, yes. Seaside and seagulls and you see? Do you understand? See? See.
So you can
Okay.
play in the ocean from this city?
You can absolutely
I've never
play in the
seen
ocean.
Beach
Well,
episode.
Yeah.
and poof! All of a sudden, no.
All right. I will wander the city and look for some sort of training area. If not, I'll go and look at the ocean. And I will tell you all that I'm doing this before I do it.
Once I'm done with the stuffy people, I'll come and
I
join
will
you.
tell you. Okay, so Celia, is my name. Aurelia's headed to
The Adventurers Guild
Adventurers
that
Guild. Jesse's
Maglet and
wandering.
Jardine.
Cadaverous is headed to the capital, or to the royal grounds.
In Barn.
Gislin is outside, and Tio
Oh!
makes
Looking for
Tio
more of that red
noises.
spore stuff. I'm feeling a craving that I didn't know I had. I'm just kidding.
He's all
Tio's
like, "That was great."
like suddenly become a crackhead. No.
It's a good thing you said no, else I would have thought you were serious.
So Tio stands in the street crying, laughing.
Oh, okay. Tio is gonna go to a library. And I'm hesitant to say what I'm gonna do just because I want everyone else to do their thing first.
The largest library is also on the royal grounds during part of the public area.
Okay.
The first wall of the castle, King's Castle.
Okay.
So
Did
that's
Jessie
no
say she's
problem.
going with Aurelia?
So we'll start with Aurelia's little.
No.
Jesse's
No,
not going
I'll
with
go
Aurelia.
I will just
What I am gonna do though, before Jessie actually goes off, is Aurelia is gonna take her silver quarterstaff off her back and hand it to Jessie, and be like, "I'm gonna go a little bit more quietly. Can you keep an eye on this for me?"
it's a lot of responsibility.
Like seven
Seven things
weapon.
on her back.
Yes.
You can trust me with it. I won't use it or anything, but
Jesse's gonna go into the first store and every turn break something. Oh.
And like I said, I'll catch up with you after I do this.
are you sure you want to go without this?
Sometimes I think it's best to let people underestimate you, and I can protect myself without it.
I think I've done the opposite my entire life. But all right, you do you.
I just offer Jessie a fist bump.
Bam! Ow!
Oh my gosh.
And then I'm gonna, if I can, I guess I'll find us an inn or someplace for the night, and then I'm gonna change out of my traveling clothes and into my proper fine clothes, and do my hair up and do my makeup and all of that, so that she looks, very much more like a proper noble lady.
Okay,
And she'll go to
Aurelia
the
is able
Adventurers
to find an inn for 1 gold per person per night, as the capital city has capital city prices.
Sure does. So what? There's 5 of us. So I will pay out. I will pay out the 5 gold.
Okay. That does grant you some individual, if not Spartan, rooms.
This is Sparta.
You're like, Gislin didn't even come in the city. You're leaving. Just in case she does.
and
knows
then I will
that
go
we
to the
did this.
Adventurers Guild.
You're at the Adventurers Guild. You see a long ranch-like structure. It looks like it has 2 floors to it. The main entrance is a large, overly done arching entrance with big wooden doors, and atop of which is adorned with 7 or 8 different noble house emblems, as it is the sponsored area of the adventurers coming and going.
Do I recognize any of them?
You recognize. Do I have to open up a different document? Hold on. Oh, yeah, here it is. One of them would definitely be the Ford family.
Hey!
Hey, that's our guy.
We're
That's
all
our
getting matching
horse.
tramp stamps that say Ford family's property, right? On
We
the
are
back.
absolutely not doing that.
Right on our lower back, so when you pull down the Calvin Klein underwear, it's right there.
Oh god.
I hate this. Ugh.
You're gonna find that the main sponsor would be, if I can get the correct page in front of me. A crest that represents Chancellor Oberlin, and so it is the Oberlin family crest.
Obolen.
I will spell it out in chat because reasons, so
Not
you can
that.
always have it.
Why is Gislin flipping a coin? Thank you.
That is the one you would recognize. It is a prominent family here in the capital. It is a family that holds office, although they are not a titled family, as in Duke or Archduke or Count or etc. The title of Chancellor comes with actually a lot more power than, say, a Viscount would have. As the Chancellor handles all of the day-to-day stuff of the kingdom in the absence of the king. You noticed a few other names, Gansford, and we can go into all of the other names, but you do not recognize any of the others besides Ford. And Ford is notably at the end.
At the end, because we're new, presumably.
Well, the Ford family isn't new, but yes.
Well, the Ford family isn't new, but they also didn't have a sponsored group until they had us.
Correct.
Correct?
As far as you
Fresh
know.
meat.
You meet, hey, we're all Fords. What the heck?
Everyone
They're all
there.
the jackets.
Alright, I will head inside.
Going inside, it turns out the 2-story building is actually straight to the roof from this level, excepting on the 2 ends of it, which appears to be walled off, and there's maybe 2 levels in offices, etc. It is a large common room. It includes a bar, a bunch of tables, a large posting board, and also places to play pool and darts. It looks like they've cleared away some of the tables, and they're playing some sort of version of, say, cornhole, which is throwing beanbags into a board that has a hole in it.
Alright.
The look of things, though, is actually quite the opposite of what you might have expected. As it is established by nobles, it is completely a commoner establishment. So you walk in and everyone just kind of quiet down. The bartender smiles. Ah, milady, please come in.
I will go up to the bar.
Sorry for we weren't expecting any nobles today. I would have had them clean up. Guys.
Well, mostly I just feel overdressed.
Prerogative.
I'm a member of the Silver Hand.
I'm a bartender. Silver hand. It doesn't ring any bells.
Oh.
What family are you?
Ford. So new.
Oh. Well, and Lady Ford, I assume. Yes.
No. Mirrodin is fine.
Weird. Okay. What can we do for you here at the guild? Are you looking for your sponsorees? I haven't seen any.
Actually, I was wondering, I was mostly just looking to catch up on the gossip.
Oh. Courtly gossip? What kind of
No, the more interesting kind.
more interesting kind?
New jobs, things that might interest a party of adventurers.
Oh, you're trying to find them work.
Yes.
I see. Well, the board there is outdated relatively frequently. If a new job comes in, it gets posted. And we tend to take the older jobs off the board after a month or two. Ford family. So, are you looking for seafaring adventure? Merchant escort via ship, merchant escort via caravan. Those are big ones. We do that a lot.
I know the group well enough to think that they're looking for something with a little bit more spice.
Spice miners, spice desert,
Spice metaphorically.
Sandworms. Well, if you, I feel a little bit in the dark, ma'am. I don't know exactly. Is there a specific role that they excel at? Areas securing the escort.
Chaos, mostly.
Ugh.
They did recently dispatch a coven of hags, though. So efficient chaos.
Oh, well, that sounds very established. So, like Crimson Guard level stuff?
We were just working with them, yes.
Oh, what are you doing here? They're going to have better jobs for you themselves, I'm sure.
Well, we don't work for them, we work with them.
Well, fair enough. Something along the lines of... Ooh, I have to ask who's in your party then. There's got to be some famous names if they're on that level.
They are up and coming, so I suspect they're the kind of names that you'll hear more of in the future.
Oh, so I'll be the first.
And actually, she will settle in and she will weave a fucking tale of she is going to tell the story of the hag coven, like not necessarily like dropping any of the things that we're still chasing up on or that we wouldn't want people to know about. So like the whole
Sensitive
like
information.
yeah, like she's not dropping like the hags.
Yeah, no, I was
trying...
petrified. What?
So not necessarily like dropping like the fact that the hags may have partially succeeded in like bringing hell onto Earth. So not stuff like that, but just like kind of stepping up the fact that like, you know, the hags were like in these three places and this was the nature of the hags and this was the way that they fought. And
So you're not bringing up the swords or the dragons.
Exactly.
You're not
So
bringing up the
stuff,
devils.
The stuff
just
that
the
we're
fact
still
that,
the stuff that we're still chasing down on, that she just cuts out.
I will take a performance roll.
Are you sure I can't sell you on persuasion?
Yes, because what you're doing is you're trying to weave a tale, not make them believe that you've done it. They are going to believe that likely.
Damn it, but I'm proficient in persuasion.
Just roll high.
Yeah,
Alright,
just roll
here
a
we
20.
go.
Just roll a 20. It's fine.
There you go.
It's
17.
So what you end up doing is you end up getting a bunch of people who were moving all of the tables back after they cleaned up the cornhole game, and they've all collected there at the bar, having a bit of time to tell the tale. A few drinks are ordered. The bartender stays busy, but does seem to be involved as well. Did you mention how you've worked with the Crimson Guard? Are you having those parts, or
Yes, but I think if she does it, she emphasizes the fact like that we're equals to them, that we weren't like working for them, we were working with them.
If
Oh,
anything,
yes,
we're
of course.
probably a little
But like, but yeah, she definitely, and she, I think she also like she talks up the fact that like we were handling the hags, but they were handling like this enormous demon creature that exploded out of like the nether, not necessarily giving details about it, but like probably painting it as like the idea that the hags had like like a little like like this minion or like this
Some
large
unholy
creature that
thing
had
they
sent.
created or
Yeah.
set upon.
So like
some...
casting it like that, but like still like credit while credit is due that they had dispatched this evil creature.
And everything goes over swimmingly as the crowd is completely into the story. They listen to you. They end up asking a lot of questions like, and what are they doing now? And did you kill them all? And did you bring up the fact that they didn't leave the plane of existence and stuff? So because the stories of the hags have gotten, especially here at the Adventurers Guild, a little bit of traction. They were aware that hags have been plaguing the lands in and out from upwards of 100 years. So this is quite the story for them, and they're taken by it. And finally, the bartender smiles and says, "Well, if I dare say, I don't think we have a job that could ever completely compare to such things. But if you're looking for great work, there are expeditions that head north of Estad into the wildlands, past the mountain ranges. There's talks of archaeological expeditions to find ancient ruins. You may know that Amaran itself was once built upon a ruin of the last kingdom, hundreds and hundreds of years before, that was long gone. So looking for artifacts and relics of that kingdom is likely to be fraught with the kind of danger that you've already handled. I don't know about hags and stuff in those areas, but I do know the beasts are a little larger where the wild elves roam. So.
Do I know what civilization Estad was built on?
The country name doesn't ring. You wouldn't know the country name or anything like that. You do know that it was established. It wasn't nearly as. It was more like city-state area.
This is distinct though from anything from the dragon stuff that we learned about.
Oh yeah, very much so. This is common knowledge that there were city-states, and the lords that fought wars amongst themselves, et cetera, until they were wiped out completely by foreign invaders.
And was my impression from our adventures underground that Promarok like wasn't really aware, like the area that is now Estad like wasn't really on his radar
At all.
Okay. So okay.
Promarok comes from a time so long ago that the land itself, as is, means nothing.
Okay. So, but the countries that he was like these, what was it?
It was
the nine
country.
The 9 dragon kingdoms, but that isn't here.
It
That
may
was
have been
someplace
here.
else.
The idea is
Okay.
it was struck from history.
So there may be like even here, if you go down deep enough, there may be remnants.
Yeah, matter of fact, that's a very good indication, because you did go down here in the kingdom, even though it was under the mountain range, and found something. So it's possible that there are other pockets of leftover stuff. You just don't know where you might want to look for that at first.
What sort of archaeological digs have there been in the city?
Here in the city, very little. The city has been explored for a long time. Any place that's any place has had 17 people look for valuables in it. If you head north of what is that, Westbury Keep, you can head into the wildlands, or if you head past the Irondale Tower onto the Great Road, north or south of that is all untamed. And the Great Road itself is very well traveled and highly maintained, but not without its own dangers. If you're looking for something more exotic, I would imagine there might be sunken treasures in the bay.
Interesting.
I hear stories of merfolk and oculuses and all sorts of things underwater.
Now, what would we do with something like that?
Mm.
It sounds so fun.
Well, it's a lot of those stories are
probably argue over what to do with it for a couple of hours.
stories
As
like
our
that
custom.
tend to be just fanciful story, but nonetheless, there's no question that the bay itself might house its own treasures, and that includes our bay itself, or Naren's Bay, is just not so far to the south of here. These two cities have done the best because of our proximity to both the water and each other. So. Something more remote would be Port Salis. They would have their own guild, find jobs there. I know the Ford family is in Rodoran, and the mines close into the mountains there. Had a young noble from the Ford family here maybe a week ago.
Is he still in town?
I doubt it. Made a big deal about going home and pronouncing his own. I don't know. He had some sort of noble triumph. Said he couldn't talk about it, but 6 or 7 brews in, he did mention a silver mine somewhere.
Yes.
I'm supposing you're very well aware of it if you're sponsored by the pool, or if you're part of the. Well, you mentioned the Ford family, so I assume.
We are sponsored by them.
Also, a young noble, like maybe your age, maybe slightly older.
Would it also I know I'm saying this retroactively, so if I can't, that's fine. But like, would it be possible for her to kind of like minimize herself in the story as she tells it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Just to like leave behind like kind of the impression that maybe she is just kind of like a face for the group, or
so you're a family attendant and not a member of the party.
Something like that. Yeah.
No problem at all.
Just like, because she's come in here, she doesn't look like a threat. She doesn't necessarily look like she could fight, and just kind of trying to present herself a little bit, almost like, because like, just
yeah, that's not a problem.
let them think that she's all talk.
Yeah. They none of that is unbelievable, as often families will insert their own family members
like
into
Cecilia.
groups. Like Celia.
Yeah.
Not Cecilia, but yes.
Oh no, I thought I had Cecilia written down.
And
Cecilia.
as far as you could tell, Celia was involved in that fight.
Yeah.
She looked roughed up. But that being said, you can see. So.
Yeah, but people don't see her as an adventurer either. They see
you
her
guys. You certainly don't.
Yeah. So anyway, but just like just leaving behind the impression that she's a noble attendant. She isn't necessarily the anything else.
No problem. You seem to have won the trust of these people here.
All right. Yeah. So she'll spin some tales. And I think she will especially talk up Jesse, and like Jesse's feats of arms, both martial and otherwise.
Actually, the young noble did mention a wild woman.
She is a fearsome sight to behold.
I believe she was raised by horses or something. He said, I don't recall, but yes.
She certainly has the spirit of one. But yeah, so she'll spin some tales, and talk up Jesse and try to like give
head over to the
Jesse,
DJ booth.
Yeah, give Jesse some fame and fortune.
Yes.
Fame. Well, at least the fame then. And then
the bard,
I will. What?
Then the bard in the corner is like, well, anyway, here's Wonderwall.
And then I will check the just for the hell of it, I'll check the board on my way out.
The board includes a lot of jobs for merchants. The main pull. It also has family preferences. For example, shipments from the forge have a forge stamp on it. So if you're working with the forge, you get picked for that right away.
Oh,
et
interesting.
cetera, et cetera. You know, if you're a freelancer but associated, you get picked. If
We have a
you're
bunch
just
of late
brand new, et
tasks
cetera, et
waiting
cetera,
for us.
you're like, oh,
Unfinished
we been-
subquests.
The prominent ones include South Sea Exploration Group. There's a 2-month expedition that is set to the islands of the south. Charting uncharted places includes, you know, possible pirates, banditry, and also so it lists all these dangers like beasts of the sea, something called the Leviathan. No one's quite sure what that is exactly, but it's, you know, et cetera, et cetera. You have a plethora of merchant caravan groups to go to all of the different locations within the Stad, including possibilities for being hired on to leave Estad itself and head to the country past the Great Wildlands. And
That's my hometown.
it's not quite Vidra on
It's
the other
not.
side.
Never mind. I forgot where I am. I keep
My
forgetting another
hometown.
country in between.
So, no, the Wildlands are your hometown there, Casey. Yes, that's true. But past that is a country called the Spar. And then past that
Completely
is
forgot about
Vidra.
that.
Yeah.
Oh,
That all being said, so there's quests to go to the Spar. There's quests to bring supplies to the elves in the Elven kingdoms. There's quests to go explore the northern reaches of the Wildlands, which has a lot more exploration quests than the southern regions of the Wildland. The
That was
Wildland
so
south of
exciting.
Irondale felt.
Sorry, so you said the north. I'm sorry. I'm trying to write these down while you're talking. You said that there were more for north.
Yes, north of Dirk, north of Westbreak Keep, and north
It's
of
like my
Varan.
house.
All of that, where Casey's from specifically,
Yeah.
is
I
the great
live there.
excursions. The current expansion is happening in that area. So there's a lot of excursions currently. It's surveys, it's archaeological locations. We're seeking these creatures. We're trying to actually, some of them are even to secure the safety of the area, which is a nice way of saying kill anything that's dangerous over there, right? So wild beasts, you know, whatever. Unfortunately, that does include some sentient creatures that are less like orcs and goblins and kobolds and stuff.
Elves.
And some elves, a bunch of them actually. It's at least
Yeah,
one,
I was gonna
don't know.
ask. Is that like, is that like relatively common knowledge that like, the elves are like they're getting pushed out?
No, the elves are so the woodland elves. That Casey's not part of the specific large northern forest wood elves. She's part of the open region area where there's just communities of wood elves. Those aren't considered a country or their own peoples. All of the wood elves to the people of Estad are in that big northern forest. So if they're not in that forest, which is not where they're exploring, but the stuff in between, there's likely going to be encounters, but they're not considered enemies. They're just considered elves, which of
Which
course
is a major
They're all
underestimation.
plays right into their hands because they are definitely. But okay, so with the southern reaches, like south of Girth, there's a large high elf kingdom. There's a large community of dwarves under many of the mountains, et cetera, et cetera. There's a lot less involved with exploration. Understood?
Understood.
Okay.
That's so
Anything
many
else?
exciting things.
Oh yeah, the land has a lot to offer. It's just a matter of where you go and why you're going,
Okay.
and also
how
what you happen
single-minded
upon.
Yeah.
Okay.
We
I
have to-
will. I will buy everybody around, and then I will head out.
Okay. And then, of course, there's a lot of jobs I didn't mention. Stuff like, you know,
First level
we
stuff.
we have to go. We heard that this town has an infestation of rodents
Giant
of
rats.
unusual size and stuff like that. Nobody
Oh,
believes they
yes.
exist, and it's becoming a problem because they exist.
We should just spend the next like 3 episodes speed running as many low level quests as we can.
That sounds delightful.
Like individually, like each like one of us
One
goes
of
and
us
does
goes.
the quest.
Okay, so the next 5 days we'll be streaming each night as we're
Yeah.
going to do first level class for one individual only. That would be great, actually.
That
So
could be really
anywho,
fun.
that would be like
I'm going into Warlock.
Yes. Can you imagine, Jesse? 700 goblins.
Oh my gosh.
There's only 6 there. I don't care. All right.
That would
So
be beautiful.
One turn later.
we'll move on to
There's no more
Jesse.
goblins.
Jesse, as you explore the rest of the city, something immediately catches your eye. Performance platforms. Not the kind of performance you expect a bard on, but the kinds that are, well, maybe some bards, sure, but the kinds that you're looking at juggling and great feats of strength and wrestling, etc., etc. Oh, there's quite a little show in town. Beat the strong man. Go ahead and, if you can last 2 minutes in there, you'll win 2 silver or whatever, right? So if Jesse partakes, there is no one of Jesse's level that is on there, and you are able to manhandle their strong man with no problem whatsoever. As you've seen real combat and fought real foes and ferocious things, and they've fought the rest of the common people. So it's not quite on the same level. And while the person's strength is nothing of a joke, they'd be like 16 or something like that. They certainly are an exceptionally strong person for a regular person. Especially when you get a little mad, it's just not a contest.
Well, good.
So
My
you're
name
able
is
to,
Jessie May. You remember that?
you're definitely approached by like the foreman. He's like, Miss, if you're looking for a full-time job, we travel from town to town, place to place, port to port. We even leave the sod. I know. See the world, right? We can put you to good use, and then you can get all those skills. You could take out all of that frustration you seem to have in you on the job itself, and subsequently the people who stooped enough to enter that ring. But since you embarrassed big old Hal over there, you might be looking for someone new if you're interested.
I got a job, and this is fun and all, but it's a little boring.
You do this when you're bored?
Yeah, I'm just wandering around, just looking for something to do, and hey, stumbled upon you.
I have no response to that. Okay. Well, if you're going to change your mind because you find that this is actually a lot more exciting, you get to fight people in every different city.
You seen anybody bigger than that guy I already beat up?
Well, he's our latest acquisition. I know a few years ago we had quite the fellow, but he ended up getting in trouble in a bar.
I might end up like
He just
that
looks
if
back
I-
at half his crew, getting in trouble at a bar, and they're all like, ooh, huh? And so, yeah, that's...
I've been there. I could probably do the same thing.
Right. Well, if you change your mind. And the rest of the city has all the regular sites of a main capital. There's food vendors and
Oh,
food
yeah.
on the street. There's
Definitely food.
large throngs of people. There's certainly a lot of places that are selling various wines, beers, ales, meads, etc., etc. A cornucopia of barbecue is in the air, and the fish market itself is its own, I won't say pleasant smell, but it's certainly something. And etc., etc.
Well-
Anything specific for Jesse?
I'm just gonna stock up on all my food. Little
So
supplies,
all of the food.
all of the food. Eat a
Food
bunch of
shortage in the
food.
capital.
So my pocket food. Just gonna restock that.
So you
So,
need more.
Now I have weapons, and I got food.
Lots of deer bones.
I need. Well, I have to eat. I have to get some of those big turkey bones, or whatever they are, and then
They have leg of who knows.
okay,
here.
I'll take some legs, and I'll eat the meat, and then I'll put the bones in my bag.
Like these are
They're there.
Flintstone-sized bones. They are ginormous.
Great. That's perfect.
Fantastic.
I said legs.
Hmm.
And I'll probably go, look at the ocean and eat my food.
Okay. So you start looking at the beautiful, and it is quite a sight. There's a lot of little ships on the ocean, and just a few larger ones with the big sails, flying the flag of the country. let's go down to Cadaverous. You've made it to the capital city. Gotten to the royal grounds. The first open gate where you met inside, past the gardens, you met Arena and collected the rest of the Crimson Guard that you ended up traveling with just recently. But here, you're also able to find a collection of other buildings here, to include a library you can see Tio running off toward. And past that is the main gate that is not open to the main castle itself. And there is no question that that is where the mage and Baron, advisor to the king, is likely to be.
Okay, is there like a guard station outside the gate?
Yes, there appears to be an honor guard, as they are wearing these super shiny, overly dramatically, like, for show armor, and they are posted. They have a bit of the almost like the British situation at the palace, where they're very strict and very regimented, excepting that there appears to be a regular guard as well, not dressed quite nearly as nice, to operate the gate itself when somebody has been granted entry. There are a bunch of pages and royal esquire this and etc. that do come and go from it. And it appears to be a little bit of a business if you need to get a message inside, but you're not cleared. So there's certainly a region of people that are just kind of milling about, like, oh, do you need to get a message inside? I happen to be from a minor noble family. I have access all week, you know.
Does there look to be any specific guard
there are two specific
that I should
ones.
be talking to, or do I have to address the collective?
No, you can talk to one of the two that are posted directly at the main gate.
Okay, great. I'm gonna head over to one of them.
Halt! None shall pass.
I halt. How close am I to them at this point?
Oh, like 5 feet.
Okay. I wouldn't have gotten any closer than that anyway. That would have been weird. I want to get in the castle.
You're so shiny.
My name's Cadaverous, member of an adventuring party and recent slayer of a hag coven. I'm here to speak to the advisor Umbaran. Is it Umbaran? Is it
Magi Umbaran, sage,
Yes.
and advisor to the king.
That is him about some important business. He's not expecting me, but it is of grave importance. It's related to the Hells.
Can you provide your pass to gain entry, please?
You don't have your fast pass? How embarrassing.
Hold on. I do have. This wouldn't quite be it, but I do have the letter of recommendation from the Ford family. I don't have a pass, but I have this letter of not recommendation.
And he just puts his
endorsement from
hand out. Present it.
I present it.
He takes it. Ford. Hands it back to you. Check the Ford family. And a cry comes from the other side of the gate. Yeah, they're allowed 2 visitors. He just makes a very sharp militant turn to the left, bows, and says, please enter. And then the guy who's over at the gate itself, dressed normal, opens up the gate.
Thank you. And he heads on in.
And the guy, as you're going in, it's like, my job's to open the gate and warn you. Please behave yourself. Good luck.
I like that only 2 of us are allowed in. Can we imagine which 2 were allowed in?
Wait, are we all together now?
No.
Not at
Okay,
all.
I was like, what?
By the way, I think the implication is they're allowed 2 visitors at the same time. Not only 2 of the party are allowed in.
Well, It's convenient.
But if it
though.
was that, it wouldn't be you.
Inside, you're immediately attended to by what appears to be a very nicely dressed page. And he's like, "Ah,
Hello,
yes."
sir.
He brings up a board and a quill and says, "Your name, sir."
Cadaverous Bloom.
Very nice name, sir. And you said Ford family. Is that what I heard correct?
Correct.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. And just you today?
Just me.
Okay. Well, the last Ford member to be here was a week ago, and he also was alone. So you should have no problems. Of course, by the end of the week, all 3 slots will be allotted. Tomorrow, you'd have 3. Today, just the 2. Do you need an escort?
I don't need an escort. Could you point me in the direction of the mage barn?
Oh, Legion Barn. Well, if you head into the main throne room, there's a staircase at the very right of the beginning of it. You'll see a guard there, and you can proceed from there.
Thank you.
Heading into the main palace is easy enough. It's very, very obvious. Just going in straight for a while, you eventually come to the closed doors of what appears to be the throne room. And when I say closed, I mean mostly closed. They're opened enough for people to slip in and out, but it doesn't appear that like they're open wide for the public to go in, right? But that being said, you do see some people casually walking in and out of that area. As it appears there's no court in order right now. The king's not on the throne. It appears very, very casual. You do see armed guards throughout.
Okay.
Okay.
I want to head to the place where the page directed me to.
So the staircase on the right, as soon as you enter, appears to be like a roped off staircase with one guard sitting at a stool. And he's like, when you come, he's like, "Oh, yes, sir.
I'm here to see the mage barn.
Expectation or appointment?"
No appointment set.
The mage is no longer able to see people on a one-by-one basis. If you could make an appointment, the appointment desk is back outside. There's a person to handle that. You'll find it in a small office on the left of the courtroom. It's just drooling on it. It's like clearly a speech he's given 700 times.
I understand completely. I don't want to bother you, but this is something of grave concern. Defense of the entire kingdom and mankind itself. It is of utmost importance that I speak to him as soon as possible.
Unless you have a royal seal on you or a mandate from a titled noble.
I have this from the Ford family.
This post-it note from the Fords.
Like
The Ford family aren't titled.
Damn.
Did we get the Covingmore's approval?
This rope, how?
It's a rope
It's
hanging
just
off a loop on both sides. You could step over it. It's maybe waist high, but
I understand. I will go and seek an appointment immediately. I want to head out of sight somewhere.
okay, you are out of sight. It's not too hard.
Invisibility.
Fantastic. You are now invisible, and once you regain, you see him sitting there again. He's all like,
And I want to sneak past.
okay, so a simple stealth roll as you are invisible, but you are not silent. And he is sitting on a small little stool next to the rope.
Advantage or just regular?
Just regular. This is a hearing-based roll for him.
Hopefully your
23.
clown
Okay.
shoes don't. Okay, good.
No problem.
My
and
clown
you
shoes?
leave him far behind. And
Orthopedic shoes.
It's canon now.
again with the squeaky shoes.
Sorry,
All right.
orthopedic sneakers.
Squeakers, baby. So you're able to go up, and four 4 revolutions of the staircase later, you come to a door. It's got that. It's one of these big old castle, thick wooden doors with that metal ring right in the middle of it. Doesn't appear to have a locking mechanism on this side, although it might be like one of those where you put a little bar on the other side.
And this is far up enough that if I knocked, the guard probably wouldn't hear, right?
You could knock gently, but if you start, that's a problem. Because you're in what's called a stairwell, and the sound will be very much down there.
I want to gently knock.
Okay. It doesn't take but maybe 10 seconds, and the door opens just a bit. And it's a heavy door, a little clanky. And a head pops out. And then the door starts to close.
Put my hand on it. Don't mean to alarm. I'm quite invisible. Apologies for this. I'm,
This is clearly what appears to be an apprentice-looking fellow. He's dressed in very fine apprentice robes, as if money were purchased to make him look more special. And he's like, master?
Wait, what did he say?
Said master?
Yes.
Why
Let's
did
just
you,
pile up the crimes, huh?
why did you knock?
No more questions.
You sound weird. Should I close the door?
Out, away, leave. Come back in an hour.
What? Oh, I didn't finish your task. Sorry, no questions. He's gonna bustle by you and go thumping down the stairs.
Okay. Gonna go in.
Okay. It's a long room, not very wide, filled with bookcases and beakers and a table with just a whole bunch of charts and scrolls and a quill and some sort of strange compass-looking instrument and implements. There's definitely crystals just floating above the table itself, and past that is a carpet, and on the carpet is a gymongous toad. And it's just, and the toad is just sitting there. But past the toad, the room has more tables, but they seem to be more orderly, and a few bookcases, but they seem to be untouched. And past that, a small desk, and it seems to be empty.
Okay. One moment while I just check a spell really quick. This didn't go quite in the way that I planned. Okay. So, I want to go to the desk.
Okay, so passing the toad, and the toad starts orienting to you.
I want to look at this toad. Other than it being fucking massive.
Now, it's massive for a toad. It's not a giant toad.
Sure.
It's massive for a regular toad. It's still a big funkin'. That's like a Yorkshire Terrier toad.
The fact that it can see me while I'm invisible, does it seem like it's hearing me? Is it making any like movement that would imply like?
Well, at first it was hard to say because toads have those toad eyes, right? So that you just started walking by it and it just orients to you right away. So it's clearly looking at you.
Okay. How can you see me? No toad response. Expected, but thought I'd try. Don't go anywhere. Gonna head to the desk.
Starts following you.
Okay.
You are at the desk. The desk is very fine red cherry wood. It is adorned with crystalline glasses and a appears to be a container for wine of some sort, or maybe a brandy. There is a quill. It looks, the feather on the quill is so exotic looking. You've never seen it. It appears to have in the feathers the pattern of an eye on it. The quill is stuck into an inkwell. The inkwell is a crystalline inkwell. And there are papers on the desk. It looks like there are official requirements from the king, and that he is outlining a new version of the same piece of paper as he is revising something.
Okay. I want to pull out a piece of parchment of my own. I want to...
There appears to be no free parchment.
I have my own parchment.
Oh, okay. I see.
He's
Yeah,
not.
I didn't want to, like... I don't want to just break in, steal this shit, start scrawling over stuff. I got my own parchment.
Silverhand was here.
I want to
It's backwards.
I want to write a letter, obviously fluffed up and a bit more, not like
So something
extravagant.
diplomatic.
Like apologies for the break of protocol. I felt it was necessary to skip it because time is of the essence. Yeah, belief there is an attempt to break Tiamat or Tiamat / Avatar of Tiamat into the material plane. This is of grave concern. We wish to seek some advice and information from you at your earliest convenience. And I would sign it with my name. Were we in yet?
So what happened was an inn has been paid for, but nobody
Yeah, but I
was
wasn't
notified. So
do I know the name of an inn?
yes, you do. You know a lot of the inns that are very close to the main capital itself, as you were once a diplomat and had to go meet all sorts of envoys.
Okay. I'll sign my name and note that I would be able to pick up a message from one of these inns.
Okay.
I would also note Silverhand Adventurers.
What is the duration on invisibility?
I believe it is. Let's find out.
I'm gonna say 10 minutes, but it also wouldn't maybe believe it
it's
could
an
be
hour.
just one. Oh, it's an hour.
Yeah.
Not bad. Not bad. Okay.
That's really nice.
That's
Also
one of the
can
spells
be.
that Tavern actually uses sometimes.
So
Of course, because it was more roguelike.
you leave the message, turn to go. The toad is right up at you. And behind the toad, there's a gentleman standing on where the toad was standing, where the toad was laying. And he's dressed in fine robes and wields a staff.
Hello. Mage and Baron, I take it?
Yes, undo your spell.
It's gone.
So we'll deal with that in a second.
Great.
Holy cow!
I'll let you formulate maybe what you want to do. Tia, you said you wanted to be last. So, Gislin, you're outside, and this entire city's ready to be burnt down. What are you doing? I assume it's something along. I'm sorry, I make assumptions. What are you doing?
Anarchy!
Well, to find somewhere quiet and naturey where I won't be disturbed.
Not too hard. Along the main road is a little difficult, but once you get about 20 minutes away, it becomes just more outside of a main city kind of place. You'll find some places where maybe some people are, but mostly patches of woods and or a field.
All right. Well, I will find a nice shady tree to sit down underneath it with my back to the tree, cross-legged, and I will take out King Promrock's sword and sort of lay that across my lap. Then I will take out Tendril and lay that across my lap and look down at the two of them. Well, just the three of us now. How do we all play nicely together? And I will put my hand on King Promrock's sword, and I will put my hand on the handle of Tendril, and I will attune to Tendril.
Very interesting. You start attuning to Tendril. The first thing you feel is that you can't let go.
Oh no!
It takes an
And,
hour or so. I mean,
uh,
that's good. My hand might get tired.
Yeah, you are literally like, okay, let me do this. And as soon as you start like attuning, it's like, ah, your grip becomes vice, like a kung fu, hanging off a building grip. Like it's a really tight. You're losing your the blood flow. The fingers are going white, knuckles are black. So, and at the end of the hour it takes to attune, or I think it's only 30 minutes. I'm not sure. But
I'll take it.
after the attunement occurs, you're given a bit of a vision again. And you find yourself in the darkness of a strange room. In the middle of the room, there is a draconic eye glowing. It's the only thing you can see. It's yellow. It is very large. You are active in this vision. This doesn't seem to be some sort of memory. The eye seems to start looking at you.
So it does appear like it's moving.
It does. Slowly, the eye starts rising, and as if a great head was moving with it. You can hear these chains starting to rattle across the floor. And then a small light starts breaking the darkness, and above what appears to be a very large golden dragon head, you see the rest of the golden dragon chained to the floor. Not just chains, like bigger than an anchor chain. All of the chains seem to have black wispy energy on them. The dragon's body looks emaciated. The dragon's body looks like it shouldn't maybe even be alive anymore. The room itself is a large circular room. The floor of it is deep obsidian. It is etched with what appears to be some sort of symbol throughout. Like one of these, I'm a little crazy and I write really small letters on entire walls. That kind of writing all over the floor. And it looks at you again and cocks its head. And as it goes maybe to speak, you notice that its mouth is chained shut.
Do I have the King Promarok? Do I have the swords in the vision?
Both of these swords are in your hand. Notably, what you're holding in your left hand is the sword tendril. It is as if the sword were just made of a wisping darkness with tendrils literally flowing throughout it, almost in a pattern like a wave. So waves of tendrils. The tendrils themselves move, but the base of the tendril also moves along with the tendrils as if they're wisping out into just nothing. And they continue to just form and do that. Your hand remains clamped on this sword. On the other sword, Promak's sword is already lit up. It is not something of your own doing. And it appears to be the only thing keeping these tendrils away, as they do not shy toward that sword. They do go off in other directions.
I'm going to sort of hold up tendril across so they sort of wisp out. And then with the other sword, kind of moving quickly, I'm going to do my best to trace the outline of the symbol of Bahamut.
Okay.
Just sort of
And
with the light through the shadows from the tendril.
In doing so, the dragon's neck nods slowly, as if it were under a great effort to move at all. It's like, and the chains once again rattle. Coming up to a seated position, you realize the dragon didn't stand up. It only lifted its head like a cat who's been like this, that goes like this. It's just a large, large creature. And it seems to be nodding. And then it just looks around, expecting something else, maybe.
I will do my best to get as much information as I can without speaking, just sort of looking around, looking at the writing, looking at everything.
So it's a strange domed room, this chained room. It has levels to it, as if small walkways were built along the rising until the dome cap itself, where you couldn't have someone stand. And as if there were alcoves where things could witness and view and possibly torment this creature that's been chained here. It does look like the building itself has no exits or entrances, and if it only exists to hold what is here and to allow those who are also here to view it. And that is all. A lot more of these symbols written on the walls as well. You see maybe 4 levels of standable circles where you could be up on the dome itself, viewing it downward. What are you looking for? Or hoping for?
Other creatures, any sort of signs of ways out, any... If I were to return to this place, what would help me free this dragon?
Okay.
How are the chains attached? That kind of stuff. Do there look like there's obvious magical things happening? I don't know.
Yeah, the chains themselves are a wisping with black energies. The foundations of each chain just is attached to the floor, much like a chain might be attached to an anchor. So there appears to be the floor itself is made to hold these chains. Freeing each one, you would have to free dozens, if not more, as there appears to be multiple anchors throughout keeping the dragon chained. The chain around his mouth itself is wrapped around excessively so, and underneath is a black lock that has locked the chain in place. Each limb is locked similarly as if they were chained separately. It looks like the damage it looks like the body of the creature has been damaged to the point where maybe at one point they were stabbing or spearing it, and it looks like often it's almost as if there's very little in the way of scales left. Not that you see any on the floor. You don't see any kind of obvious entrance, and you don't see kind of any sort of obvious exit. There are no other individuals here. The dragon is well aware of you and is following your every move.
You're not destined to die here. Your struggle lives on outside. I don't know when or how, but I will return with friends. Have hope for that moment.
The dragon starts shaking. And all of the chains get really loud. And at one point, you feel the structure itself, not as if it were moving or anything, but you can feel the vibration along the floor. And as soon as you do, you hear a voice. What's this? What's this? As something comes out of one of those places where people can view or things can view. And this small little devil peeks his head out. What's this? Calm down, you. And then, as if it were just a little slow on the uptake, kind of looks slowly in your direction. He doesn't know what to do. He's very confused. He's like, no. No, this is my responsibility. You cannot be here. How are you here? Who are you? He jumps up onto the area. His little wings come out. It's clearly an imp. Go on.
So he's coming sort of down to where I am.
Yeah, he's gonna do one of these. He could fly, but he's just gonna glide down because he's lazier.
I will walk over to meet him guess both swords sort of down and kind of held out away from you, so as to be as epic as possible.
Okay.
And walk over in front of him. Is he like combative?
He lands in front of you. No, he's actually he's more bewildered than anything else. He's like, what is this? What are you? Who are you? Where did you get that? And he's pointing at Tendril. Oh, the missing swords.
I'll hold the two swords up and kind of cross them over, and then sort of lower them down so he can look at them.
And his hand goes through the swords as he reaches out. And you wake up.
Oh.
The last thing you hear is no. Sorry.
Demon Lord Pym. Excellent.
I'm Pym's younger, more evil brother.
Cool. And is Tendril still tendriling?
Very much so. You find that Tendril is now your item. It is a -1 longsword, and it is cursed. You are required to use it.
Oh, like as a replacement for a bow?
No, as
Oh.
a replacement for any weapon whatsoever.
Oh no.
Oh shit!
-1 locks.
It doesn't have any other properties?
Not that you've discovered.
What a waste. I do have a scabbard for it, though. I can, like, put it in a scabbard.
Yes, you can always have it on you. Any
And then
attempt,
use it forever.
any attempts to get rid of it, just you find yourself in possession of it again. And if it's to the point where you throw it away, it is in your hand again.
That's actually really convenient, because now it's a ranged weapon.
It is not.
Oh.
No, because it immediately leaves your hand and then re-enters your hand, right? It doesn't like get to the location.
And it's not even like conveniently nicely cursed. It's like you throw it with this hand, it's in this hand. You're like, son of a bitch.
It's like you
Throw it
really
with
need the
both
bathroom.
hands, it's on your back.
You really need the bathroom, so you charge in and you throw your sword to the side, but it keeps coming back.
So can you remove it from your hand, or are you always stuck holding it?
I can have it on my person. And
Okay.
just sheath it. You wouldn't get too far if
You
you
just
couldn't
can't
use one of
try
your
to-
hands all the time.
It's how curses sometimes work. I don't know.
Tio, you've
Oh,
been to
no.
the library.
Yay! I'm here. I have questions to ask.
Okay. We can absolutely deal with these questions. What are they?
Oh, okay. I thought you were gonna tell me to ask them in a DM.
We
Okay.
could absolutely, if this is something that you would prefer to do offline, that's no problem either. But I've given everybody their exclusive chance to destroy the party's credibility, and they've done pretty well so
Okay.
far.
I have.
Hey, I raised the party's credibility.
I mean, collectively, you guys have destroyed it. Somebody's beating up the locals. The other person's over here invading the. No.
Okay. I have things
I
that I
was
could do as a
respectable.
character, and I have things that I could do that are at the library. So, would you guys like me to do the things at the library in a DM?
No.
Character things.
What would you like to do?
I would honestly rather do my character things, but they're a lot less important to the plot.
But the plot is about the
I
characters.
went
How
and,
about I
I
just
went
try
and
to knock
chatted
out
with
all
a
of them?
bartender for like an hour.
I'll just do all of them.
Do all of the things.
Okay. All right. On the way to the library, before I get there,
You see
I-
Cadavers like going like this at the gate. Go on.
scheming. Are people looking at me weirder than they normally do that I'm used to, or is it like, is this pretty much like what I'm used to my whole life?
You've gotten your glances. Absolutely. You've
Okay.
Gotten no excessive glances here. You've been here before. You've gotten the glances again. It's the same, what you've expected.
Okay, gotcha. I am also really curious if I can find. I've never brought this up to you. This is something I'm making up right now, but I'm gonna act like I've talked about it before.
I'm gonna pretend you did as well.
Okay. I
No. Sorry. I was getting ready.
have a renewed hope in finding my wife, and she is from a forest. So she's used to flowers. They're pretty boring to her. But something she loves is people who don't live in forests making things that look like flowers that are not made of flowers. So I'm going to go back to a metal worker that I bought a pendant for her from a long time ago, like 8 years ago. and I'm gonna see if I can buy a little metal flower in the hopes that I'll be able to give it to her relatively soon. 'Cause
Okay.
I'll find her.
I like it. Very
Okay.
good. Here's what I would like you to do, just to make sure that the metalworker has stayed in business for 8 years.
Okay.
I would like you to roll a D100.
This would be so sad. Gosh. Okay. D100 roll
Mhm.
on Roll20.
Yes, not like privately, or yes, on Roll20.
Gotta reload the page.
Dun dun dun.
Come on. You can do it.
Do it.
Okay. Should be rolling now. I didn't mean to roll twice. Just take the first roll. Okay, 73.
No problem. The person is
Oh,
still
that's
in
so
business,
exciting. Okay.
and he has a display of small little items that he would have done, as this is something that you saw. You originally came to this guy for this reason, so
Yes.
you would have. He does these little baubles,
Okay.
and so he has a small display case, and
Okay.
he sees you coming, and he's like, "How can I help you?"
Hi there. I bought something from you several years ago, and I'd like to buy something like it again. Do you have any
Repeat
more of
business.
those
Yes.
little flowers that you made a long time
Ah.
ago?
I do still do flowers. I think I have one left. It's right here.
How much would it be?
5 copper.
5 copper. All right, here. I'll hand him the change. Very excited. Tio looks
You're
like
very lucky. You're
yeah,
very
he's-
lucky. The young woman who bought the other one was here just a few days ago and was looking at both.
What did she look like? I'm sorry, that's a weird question. I know. I didn't
Well,
think many people
that's
knew
fine.
about this
If
place.
someone were to ask who bought this one, I'd probably have to describe you as well. It's fine. So she was one of those crazy elf-looking ladies.
There's many elves around this place. Do you mean
Not too
Just-
many here.
what do you mean?
We see them, sure.
Wait, can you give any more of a description? I'm sorry. I know it's
Well, she's like the most an elf lady can be. Does that make sense? She had stuff in her hair, and her dress was exceptionally overly.
flowery.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you so much. I'm sorry. I know it's weird to ask about previous customers, but I don't know if you remember me when I bought you a flower from you about a decade ago, and it was a hydrangea. And I was just so worked up over it, and I know that you probably don't remember that, but that woman I think might be my wife, and I've been looking for her for several years, and
Oh, she was young. Oh wait, elves. Yeah, maybe.
do you know anything about her? Do you keep addresses of your customers or anything? Any sort of contact? Is there any way that I can?
No, I took 5 copper from her. That's it. I'm sorry. I didn't realize that it was someone you were trying to find.
No, it's okay. I don't expect you to know that kind of thing. Thank you, sir.
Give her name. She went to the left. If that's helpful. It was
Okay.
a week ago. She went left.
A week. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. I give him 3 more
Boy,
gold.
bless.
just because my hand is shaking so
He's
much.
like, "You want the rest of the case? Here."
No, I just
He's
this
like
one, just
closing
this
up the case. No, you have to take it. I can't not sell it. Just take them all.
one. Okay, thank you. How many do I have now?
Oh my God, gold! And then he's like,
Thank you so
I
much.
mean, copper.
I'm gonna stumble away from this encounter and try to go to the library and focus on my questions.
Good luck.
Okay.
But before that, I'm gonna try to find a book on Infernal.
Not at the library. You're gonna just try to.
I'm going to think of where I have
Books and
been.
kebabs. Welcome.
Rosetta Stone kiosk.
Books
Hungry?
and kebab sounds
Want to
wonderful.
read? Do both.
He's so greasy. Okay. Oh my gosh. Where would I get a book that teaches me how to learn a language like that? That I could take with me.
Language stuff in this day and age would be specifically found with tutors. There's not too much. There's not too much DIY language stuff.
Okay.
Like for the ones that you can find in like the Basilica and whatnot, still come with attendants that kind of guide you through things. And even though it's a different kind of service than a tutor, it's in the same general genre. The ones here in the capital, there's no big repository. There are people that will teach you and possibly have those scripts.
Mm.
There's no, hey, Draconic for Dummies. That's not a...
I wish.
And did you say Infernal at first? Did I hear that?
I did. Yes.
Yeah, let's find it. Most E languages are in E for evil. Hold on. Not really a thing.
Well, on to the library then.
You find yourself at the library.
I am going to specifically be looking for 5 questions, and they're all different.
Is this a dead body? What have you done?
No. My first inquiry is about destroying portals or planar travel by portal.
Okay.
Specifically related to what we've been dealing with.
So just to let you know, the Royal Library is general knowledge stuff. The arcana specific to spells and rituals will be found in arcane libraries.
Okay.
Not that you can't find like theories on stuff. It's just there's no step by step.
Okay.
So it's like going to the public library and asking for, well, how do I make a nuclear weapon? I'm sorry, that's not
specific
somewhere
knowledge.
There's instructions for that somewhere. We don't know where. That's what you're asking about, really.
So this is a public library, not like a Library of Congress where there's like sections of like
there's
clearance.
Sections, but it's no, not clearance level. It's not a it's not Mage and Boren's personal collection available to the public if they're like have the right.
Okay. In that case, I am going to change tack and go to dragon lore and see if I can find anything about dragons.
Well, there's going to find a lot more in the way of fiction to dragons or in fanciful story.
Okay.
However, there is a lot to be found about dragons, as dragons are one of the favorite topics from both a mythic tale point of view to what they might have actually been or where, to the ecologies, etc., etc.
Okay. I'm going to look for dragons, like dragon history, that kind of thing, that has been specifically in Estad.
So dragons in Estad. That's something.
Yeah. Yeah. That's one of my inquiries that I think I'll find here. Another one is anything about magic swords with a similar setup to what we have. I think Tio's pretty good at comparing patterns, that kind of thing. So I'm sure he could find something if there is a book available that is not the same as what we're looking at, but like a situation that he could extrapolate something from.
Magic sword creation and function isn't available. Magic swords as a story. Who might have had what? Maybe.
Okay. The next question is if I can find anything at all about an era wiped from history, like anything about someone going like, I was looking through all these books and I didn't find anything about this.
So you're hoping to find a book that complains about how there's no history in books?
It's more like I'm trying to find a book that addresses the gap.
You're trying to find a conspiracy comment on YouTube.
Yes, I am trying to find. I'm going into Reddit, into 4chan, green text.
Well, /no.
Okay. Okay. Following that with defeating hags, that's happened anytime before us.
All right. So the only thing you're going to find on hags are the stories of the hags. It's not defeating the hags, as the hags have up until recently been a problem that has never had a solution, and there doesn't appear to be other well-known stories of hags or other hags. If there have been hag infestations, they're like on individual stuff, and it would be very hard to find that specific story because it would have had an ending, and it wouldn't have been, we have to bring this to a national level kind of thing, right?
Right. Okay. And then after all of that kind of fruitless searching, I'm going to go up to the front desk, still shaking from the earlier encounter, just a little, and I'm going to hopefully be able to find the librarian.
Yeah, you're able to find an attendant at the very least. Sure.
Okay, and I'm going to ask them, excuse me,
Go on,
sorry,
go on.
excuse me, should I talk like this up to the front of the mic? I'm just kidding. Do you know of any kind of library that might have a more private sort of collection or anything that
Yes, private libraries have more private collections.
I mean more of a library that is containing more specialized knowledge that the public may not have access to
It's very vague.
in this city?
It's still vague. I don't know what topic you're after.
Many different topics, but specifically anything about
So you want
planar
specific
travel.
information about
planar travel.
planar travel? What's that?
Oh no. Any libraries you might know of that include specific arcana knowledge?
You mean like wizard stuff?
Yes, wizard stuff.
Oh, you're going to want to head over to the wizard library.
All right, where is that?
That doesn't exist. Find yourself a wizard. I
Do you
hear they do
know-
love books.
Is there
You
anyone
know,
that might be...
Imbarn used to be here, worked here for a little bit before he became, big Mr. Important.
Mm-hmm.
It was many years ago.
Is there anyone else that worked here and isn't working here any longer?
Yes. What?
Anyone else of that caliber?
No. He's the famous guy.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Have a great day.
Good luck. That was bad.
It went horribly. What? Have I lost my touch? Well,
So you took the sage background, is that correct?
that is incorrect.
You took the what background?
My background is completely unrelated to anything about knowledge clerics.
Understood. Then I will no longer ask.
I kind of wish now that you've asked me that.
There's an interesting mechanic that may have served you a little bit. That's all.
No,
But-
I did
but-
not.
No worries. Can't change who you used to be. It's fine.
Can't change who I am. My background is still affecting me today.
You can change who
And
you
if they
are,
had looked
though.
into my eyes, they might have wanted to help me, but I guess he was too nearsighted to see. Anyway,
He was definitely a public servant librarian attendant. That's true. But do you have this? No. So it's over there, and they just point to a whole area. Over that way. Good luck. But anyway, some of them are not like
I love
that.
librarians. I'm sorry to anyone who's watching is a librarian.
Yeah, there are good librarians.
aren't
There are
watching
good
this.
librarians. I've never met one, but I've heard that there are good ones out there.
I've heard they're
It's
real.
fine.
Okay,
So,
Librarians were
No.
in bed by 8. They're not watching.
that's true. Well,
I take the light shift at the library. It's fine. I'm watching at the library right now.
were you gonna say something? I almost interrupted you.
I didn't have much to say other than I was going to ask if that's all.
I would love to be able to find more about books, but it seems that there may not be a
All right, so
Easily
the idea
accessible.
of the library here at the Kingdom is cultural knowledge, history, definitely, absolutely.
okay.
Basic information like art or math or geography. No problem at all, right? You're not going to find scriptures on the workings of the outer realms or et cetera, et cetera. That's kind of like a
Geometry.
privileged rate. That's like a privileged information set, right? And it only goes with certain very skilled groups. Wizards know about arcana. They teach the basics of arcana. Any wizarding apprentice is given that specifically from their mentor. There are ways to learn it on your own, but it's much, 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 much more difficult, and certainly not public available. Right.
Okay.
Same thing with the inner workings of basic religion. What religions are out there? What they stand for? Yes. Who's in charge of what devil and this, that, and the other thing? Much harder to find. Right.
Okay.
So that becomes digging deeper into hidden and forbidden archives. And every skill goes along those lines. Like, there's not too many books on how to build a boat, but the people at the shipyards likely have all of the information you need written somewhere. It's just not public knowledge at the library. That
I
kind
have
of stuff.
to
Right?
talk to people.
I know, it's the worst. It's the worst. So when you're after specific, like how to shut down portals, well, the Shutdown Portal Corps and company limited, liability. It's fine, but that's the problem you've run into here.
Okay.
Not that.
Tio is surprised.
Now, could you quickly rattle off, because I did say yes to a few of those.
You said yes to the dragon lore, like finding anything about dragons that have lived in the past, or maybe fantasy about the dragons.
Okay, so
and then magic swords.
during the establishment of the Stad and the kingdom, when they all came together and decided that we're done with these city states, we're done with the brigands, we're done with all of this. We're going to establish a true and just kingdom. During all that, the stories of dragons were flooding in, right? So it's not that a lot of them were true. It's just that a lot of them were easy to say back then because there was no large protected land. Now, as that changed, the stories of the dragons dwindled and dwindled and dwindled. No dragon has ever been seen in the capital city. No dragon has ever been seen to the east of the capital city, to include Rodoran and Naren's Port, or the Basilica. There were small substantiated reports of dragons in the mountain range where the dwarves live underneath, and there are unsubstantiated claims, the majority of them coming from the northern lands that Gislin is very familiar with.
Interesting.
None of them speak about any kind of dragon of great size, excepting the ones that are considered to be already debunked. Like, oh yeah, my ship was sunk by a dragon, and I'm the only. Yeah, you were in the storm, buddy. No, it's a dragon. A dragon took out everybody. I made it. No, you were in the hurricane. That was a hurricane. But whatever, right? And so there's that kind of information you found with the dragons.
Okay.
There's no dragon lores in. They had a society. None of them ever talk about like armies or even lairs, beyond the fact that some of them are fanciful stories. So I found this hidden secret cave, and at the end of the story it's like, and I can't find the cave anymore, or something stupid like that.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And the other thing you mentioned was magic swords. You said something about.
Yeah, there'd be a history of people with magic swords.
Okay. Anything
from
about
basic
them canceling each
enchantments
other
to-
out, like
no, there's a few swords have special properties, and there's a holy relic sword that has the heat metal property that is used upon other swords. So its specialty was to disarm their opponents. But beyond that, there's nothing.
Expelliarmus.
So yeah, beyond that, so beyond all that, you have just the stories of people with special swords. Nothing along the lines of an aligned sword.
Oh, okay.
Nothing along the lines that swords have been created in opposition to other swords.
Nothing about good or bad. You get the idea.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so that's that. And with that, does anybody wish to round out our little session here for the exciting conclusion? Yes, you, Gislin.
I have one other small thing I'd like to do.
Ha ha! Summon demons. Sorry, go ahead.
I want to try to use the sword to hunt something so I can see if it does anything different when used.
Okay. As you hunt.
Not people.
Thought you'd really turn this time.
Make a wisdom saving throw. No. It's making me kill people.
I also have a concern about
Who is
Cadaverous.
this young woman with flowers in her hair?
Oh my gosh, that would be horrible. That would be quite the arc. I would actually go warlock then.
I could be your patron. It would be great.
That would
So,
be so wild.
You're able to hunt down and track some animals. You realize that it sucks not to use your bow when you're hunting most animals. Most animals, it's just a lot better so you take hours to do this. When you finally manage to corner a creature and stab it, I'll let you just. Oh, it's a kobold, and
Oh my god!
as you stab this kobold right through.
His name is Log, which is his skull backwards.
What you do find is that upon killing this animal, let's call it a coyote or something along those lines. Oh, it's wild.
What'd you pick up?
Wildy coyote. You killed this thing. It dies normally. It was a little harder to hit than you expected, so you're starting to realize the -1, and that you you watch it, and it starts to decay quickly, like rapidly decay, and eventually becomes what you would be considered a week and a half old carcass, as this black tendrily energy just kind of consumes what you've killed. So the effect is that the sword deals an additional 2d8 necrotic.
You're not too good at hunting, are you?
But it should be said that the sword does a great deal amount of damage.
Even though it's -1.
-1 to hit,
Okay.
and technically -1 to damage, because that's how that works. But an additional 2d8 on top of all of that is, yeah, that's a lot of damage.
What kind of sword is Tendril?
Mine.
Oh no.
My precious.
I can't use swords.
Tendril was. Hold on. I have too many different notes.
You said it was a long sword earlier, which is a shame that it's not a long sword. Because now I have 2 long swords.
You do have 2 long swords, as Tendril is the long sword. And the other sword you have is a scimitar.
So
The other evil sword.
Hate is
Okay.
a scimitar.
Mm-hmm.
I can do that one
That
next.
sounds like a band. Hate is a scimitar.
That does.
So, just out of interest, is Cadaverous about to make a new toad friend?
Depends. Cadaverous
Oh,
might
I
be-
completely forgot already. So soon.
You totally forgot.
I just got news that my wife just was at the Target that I was at. So like.
Oh, I am widower. You're not.
like this,
See ya!
suddenly
Your
Cadaverous is
wife
like
is in your sword.
suddenly Cadaverous is the only one that's like, no one knows my pain. They pretend, but they don't.
My pain is a 2-edged sword, and her name is Karen.
I have 2 swords now, and neither of them has a wife in it.
We need to fix that.
No, I have a 3rd
as
sword.
possible.
I've got more scratch tickets, guys.
Surely one of these swords has to have a wife in it.
Shirley, I thought you were dead.
Now, based on the fact that an unnamed Dora player said that they were very, very tired, should we have this conversation now, or shall we deal with it next week?
I think we should. Well, unless Beth wants, I'm fine to stay up for Beth to finish the conversation.
The energy is
I'm
very
fine to stay up
high.
for me to finish the
Yeah,
conversation.
let Beth finish her conversation.
And so
Gotta know
you
what
stand before a middle-aged gentleman. He has a bit of gray in his hair. This is more like distinguished Doctor Strange-looking gray, not
It's the Spider-Man
not-
meme.
not DM bullshit gray everywhere. And he has in his hands a staff that is a little ornate, carved into a dragon's claw, grasping a yellow topaz gem. So,
Oh.
to what do I owe this unexpected arrival?
Nice.
Player
I'm
inspiration.
sorry to barge in as I had. I left a letter on your desk, but I'm happy to explain.
Yes,
and boys,
please do.
and I'm always happy to repeat this in a zone of truth to prove I'm not talking shit.
If you try to lie to me, I have my own ways of knowing.
I believe it. Recently, we
Liar.
two different things actually. To start with, we found a long abandoned city from a time forgotten beneath a nearby city name here. I forget the name.
Vincaridin.
Vincaridin.
Congratulations, you're an archaeologist.
Yes. Within it was an ancient dragon kingdom that had some kind of fight, and a ritual was stopped. All this, a dragon was was trapped in hell. All that. Anyway, to the present day, we killed a hag coven recently, who were trying to bring around.
Oh, you were working with one of my former apprentices then. Well,
Magdalene.
Almost, but yes.
His
Mary
name is
Magdalene.
his name is so hard to keep. Anyway, yes, we're working with him. Hakoven was killed, and we uncovered that they're trying to bring about order through bringing in likely a fiendish presence into the material plane. We believe it that dragons are also playing a hand. We're unsure where they are, only that they're working with the hags. So we wish to get a little help from you in regards to one subject as a way to fight these more evil dragons. We wish to go into the hells. I know, and rescue a trapped golden dragon that was the champion of Bahamut in this ancient, long-lost civilization under Vincaridin.
Do you currently have a method on which to arrive at said place?
We're not 100% certain on details, only that I've been there before. There was a portal opened in this underground city. I went through it. I saw...
This is an active and remaining portal?
We closed the portal at the time, unaware of the exact details of it. We figured it best that it not remain open. We have the swords that were...
By the way, that is incorrect. The party did not close that portal.
We did not close the portal.
Really?
Wait, which portal?
The sword in the... Removing the sword, replacing the sword, stopped the portal from...
But we put all of the swords in, and I thought that portal poofed.
I remember you shrunk it and there was an anvil underneath, and you were like, "Oh, don't mind me."
I thought it poofed too.
we
but-
put
I
it
mean,
on-
I genuinely thought it poofed.
I'd much
Jesse?
rather
Open
it be open though.
I would much rather be open too.
We
Right.
can retcon that if we like just temporary disabled it or something.
Did I get rid of the map? No. I will check my archive pages. I was under the impression that you had not closed it, but now that you mentioned the anvil, I may be guilty of lying.
It's okay.
So, assuming this portal could be recreated in the spot it used to be,
Somehow.
My understanding is that though we close or believe to have closed the portal on this side, my understanding is that it is linked to another side. So if it were to be reopened in the same place, perhaps it should take us back.
well, you understand that portals can be created but not maintained unless both places have the fixed features of power, magical circles, items of great energy, etc., etc.
We believe that we have these items of great energy. We have a number of swords,
Swords are generally not used to power portals, but go on.
They are magical swords, some seemingly powered in a more evil manner, some in a more good manner. Um, One of these swords was present when we found the portal initially, and seems to be at least related to it existing.
Hags and dragons. It's an unlikely alliance.
Incredibly.
What would you like me to do?
I only ask if you know with any certainty of a way to reopen a portal to a place a specific place within hell that we've been to before.
Specific place within hell. Well, searching your memories won't give me the arcane knowledge I need to find whatever portals you used, unless you researched the portal itself and the ritual used to create it. I assume you did not, as you said. You've unearthed some ancient place. Is that correct?
Correct.
We must find what ritual is used and link it to the established place on the other side, assuming that they did not remove it upon closure of the portal. The hags did this, or the dragons?
The portal beneath the city?
Are there more than one portals that I need to now worry about?
Well, the other portal we closed on this side, the hags created another. We didn't go in this one.
The hags have the information. We'll draw that information from the hags. Find their spellbook.
Oh,
That is something we can do. We have all three hag corpses still. We're able to at least interrogate the dead in some way.
Let me see if I can't remember. Hags, Infernal, something about soul collection. I mean, they're not quite the planeswalkers the others could be, but they do slip in and out of the ethereal.
Yes, we
Should definitely check there for their book. It's a place they keep many things of value to them.
we have their heartstones at our disposal, so I would imagine that we can take a look in the ethereal.
Be very careful with that. The heartstone is something special to a hag. If you were a spiteful and evil creature, you might place a curse upon it.
Thank you. That makes a lot of sense.
But find Magdalene, as you will. We can definitely guide you back if you need to be assisted in that manner.
He has offered great help in that regard.
Do you have what dragons oppose you and work with these hags, you said?
We are not 100% certain on these dragons specifically, I don't believe. Are we? I don't think we are. The name Tiamat has been thrown around. I do not believe that Tiamat is these dragons specifically, but...
If Tiamat were the specific dragon, then this is a lost cause.
I agree completely, but I believe Tiamat is at least the dragon's goal.
You'll hear that all the way down from a kobold's mouth, given enough time to speak with one. So just be aware.
We have heard that.
Take it with a grain of salt. They worship what they worship.
Awesome.
Go find their search this place. You said dead bodies of hags. You've dispatched the hags. You've done the kingdom a good service. I look forward to hearing more reports, and I may bring you up to the king himself.
Awesome. Thank you.
Hearing some sort of resolution, I suggest that you go to the other side. You said there was a dragon captive. How do you know this?
We spoke to the Dragon King. We found his spirit, I believe, his body, his spirit. It's been some weeks now. He spoke to us.
Wait. You can't speak to the dead if they've been too long. You said ancient.
Yes. Was it what exactly happened? Was it his?
He was undead.
Yeah, he was undead.
Yeah, it was his spirit that showed up. It's not speak with the dead. It's different.
It wasn't a spell. His spirit appeared before us and spoke with us. He was this ancient dragon king, dragon-born king.
Oh, what color? Did you see the majestic? What? We haven't had any dragons in my lifetime here in Estad. Zero. None. I would love to find something about them.
What color was he? Could we tell as a spirit?
No, because his body animated, and he was
It was a skeleton.
Gray dragon.
What about in the vision, though?
He's bone colored.
Oh yeah, what about in the vision?
Dear bone.
Good point.
In the vision, Promarok, the dragon
We didn't
born.
see him because we were him, right?
No, at one point you saw him wield a sword. His queen wield a sword, and some third hand that was wielding a sword.
He had 3 hands.
No, the third person.
You want 3 hands, don't you?
I have 3 swords.
I know.
And 1 open attunement slot.
Promarok was a brass-colored
Aww.
dragon
Why is that
born.
cute?
Promarok, King Promarok was
My
a
mom was
brass-colored
brass.
dragonborn. His champion was a gold dragon, and they served Bahamut the platinum dragon.
Well, that sounds very fanciful and along the lines of something a Dragon Kingdom may have, but what Dragon Kingdom do you speak of?
Well, exactly. It seems to be scrubbed or lost from history. We had certainly heard nothing about it until we stumbled upon it ourselves.
You can't scrub history. Well, generally you can't.
Right, we're none the wiser on why exactly nobody knows about this at all.
You have their swords.
Oh, we do.
These ritual swords.
I have at least part of that energy in this sword here. It was the queen's sword at the time.
May I see it?
You may. He carefully draws it out of the scabbard and extends it.
As you
handle.
draw the sword out of his scabbard, Imbaran's face changes to complete focus. As he looks at it with a very strange, desire, he's like, and that's where we're gonna end tonight.
Oh no. You gonna try and take my wife?
First husband.
I
Oh.
will drop his ass.
Oh my goodness. Wow, that was like
Good words.
I love incomplete sentences myself. Thank you for that. So, okay, so a lot of role play done tonight. Well done. I know
Roles were
that
played.
sometimes some characters don't get a lot of part. Some people don't
It's totally fine.
do that.
Oh,
I wasn't bringing
no.
up you specifically, but it does further the story along a great deal. So it is a necessary evil at times. And I thought a lot of these parts had some good stuff that could be fun for everybody anyway. So it was fun for me because I was involved in all of them. So that was easy for me. Thank you. That was great. Thanks for all the watchers. I don't know. I don't understand that Twitch was having its own issues today, but we seem to have some. So that's good.
Yay.
And yeah, definitely join us next time. And before you join us next time, join us on Casey's next time. They're Mondays because that's happening. And there's some things and stuff and items and and actions and a lot of also downtime, no doubt. That's what we do. So
Yeah. Thank you to
Conjecture.
Anon for the gifted tier 1 subs for a bunch of folks. Welcome to the family.
holy cow, yeah, that was crazy good. Yeah,
Thank
that
you,
was
And Frederick.
you.
Yeah,
And
thank you,
yeah,
Frederick.
King
Frederick.
Frederick coming back with, I believe it was the 5-month resub.
Ooh. Yeah, he
Awesome,
also gave out a
awesome.
bunch of community subs so thank you for that as well.
Nice.
nice. I
Very
missed them,
nice.
but I do appreciate those. Those are great.
Yeah, it's hard
It's
to
great
see
for the community.
everything.
It's not like I appreciate it. It's good for these.
Good for everybody. So, thank you. If you're just joining us for the first time, you can catch up on back episodes through our YouTube channel. Just search for Roll It Slants. And if you like it, give us a sub there so we can eventually get our own Earl. And
Yes. We can be the Earl of YouTube.
I tried to get you guys a squire, but you killed him.
Can't have a kobold as a squire.
Why not?
The kobold comes in. The kobold comes in announcing.
Tio, you went to get a kobold as a squire. I'm going to get a gold ancient dragon.
You have one-upped me, as they say.
I think that's more than one.
That's more like a 7-up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's refreshing. It has no caffeine. It's nice.
Make 7 up
Yeah.
yours. Good marketing campaign. Or you're probably too young to remember that.
I am. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Do you-
Wait,
Really?
are you
I was
serious?
thinking, is that the latest one? Because that I remember
it's
the ones.
years ago. That must be like 15 years ago. They had a 7. You know,
I'm not
7
that
Up.
young.
7 Up is like it's a soda.
Yeah, we know what 7-Up is.
So they used to have this like edgy ad campaign, which must have been like what, in the 90s, early 2000s. That was like, make 7 Up, comma, yours. Make 7 Up yours. And that was their edgy thing. It's like, have a 7 Up. Today's episode is brought to you by 7 Up and by Roll20. And great. I didn't really play any other music aside from
Oh, I apologize then to everybody.
The
I didn't-
Descent. I did turn it on and off in a couple spots, so it wasn't going constantly. The Descent by Kevin MacLeod. Cool.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Kevin.
Kevin.
Thanks, Kevin.
Kevin.
We'll bring him some
gotta
food
remember
in the
to feed
basement.
him.
Yeah. He's pretty good. Changed his litter
There's 6 of
earlier.
us,
Yeah.
so he gets food 6 days of the week. But one day
We
off.
starve him
Gotta
just
ration.
so he knows.
That's a ration
could
every
happen.
day. so
Right.
he has-
It's based.
What's wrong with you people? It's leftover that day. It's fine.
It's based on musical output. As any good artist in residence should be. No
Now, I
art,
don't-
no food.
Actually, have a basement, but I do have
I've
an
starved.
under the stairs Harry Potter victim room place. I play.
Oh,
It's storage. It's storage.
yeah, that's where I store my artists. Cool. Well,
Keep creating music, and also no food for you.
sounds good. So I guess see everybody on Monday.
See you Monday.
Have fun storming the castle.
Knew that was coming. Good times. Good times.
Goodbye. Goodbye. Think it'll work.
Bye.
Not a
It'll take a
chance.
miracle.
Lord knows.
Village.